come closer. Less talking if you don't mind. I got a real treat for you today.
Don't panic.
Ooh.
Hagrid, exactly what is that?
That, Ron, is a hippogriff.
You're not going mad. I can see them too. Is that a dragon?
Stop it!
Dementor! Dementor!
Seriously misunderstood creatures spiders are. The eyes, I reckon.
Not to mention the pincers.
Cool.
Our concept of these creatures was to make absolutely certain that they had a lot of character. And we wanted to create creatures that we had never seen before on screen.
We never thought of them as creatures. We always thought of them as people. The whole goal was to try to create an organic universe.
You're always encountering new creatures. Harry sees one of them, you know, he steps back and it's kind of like, wow, is it going to eat me or what? Because there's something really intimidating but mesmeric about it.
Creatures are the wild side of the magical world. They're raw, visceral part of the Harry Potter world.
You've got to believe that Harry is going to get eaten, or fried, or drowned.
We haven't gone to a different world. There is magic in this world, but it's just that we Muggles don't see it, but it's there.
You believe that these ancient creatures could be roaming the English landscape, forgotten by society and culture. There's a world of magic and creatures that lurks beyond the sight of normal people like us.
I say, no underage wizards allowed in today. Shut the damn door!
So rude.
The primary goal is to make it believable. This has got to be grounded in reality.
They're not just fantasy films, despite the fact that Harry fights dragons. I think the reason the books, first of all, and then the films have found such a wide audience is because they resonate with the personal and human story.
We have to stay true to the books and then build on that and hopefully open it out.
Creature design can be challenged, to say the very least. Blank sheet of paper, as intimidated as can be.
For me personally, the most fun part of the job is when I start work on a creature, because you can let your imagination just run riot.
You're thinking, what's it going to have to look like? What's its character? Is it good, bad, you know, intelligent, stupid?
I think we all paint a picture of the creatures of Harry Potter in our minds when we read the books. And the filmmakers go to great lengths to achieve a look that is as close to the book and hopefully as close to everyone's image of that creature as possible.
Welcome to the Creature Shop. We do things like producing the live-action creatures that would be required to actually be there on the set, and any prosthetic makeups, as well as supplying the visual effects department with painted models.
If it's a sort of organic form, then it probably originated in here.
When people go into the Creature Shop, they see these creatures they have never seen before except in Harry Potter coming to life. I mean, so much concentrated in this one place is amazing.
I just think the creature department is one of the most imaginative departments that we have here at Leavesden. It's so creative what they're doing, seeing things that they've never dreamed or imagined before, and it's just breathtaking.
Just amazing to touch these things. They can literally just build, make anything you want, really. It's like the hippogriff is just really cool, and like the Aragog, the big spider, which is horrible.
It's sad that some of those sort of beautiful puppetry things are sort of dying out, but what I think is exciting about visual effects and where it's going now is that it allows you to put a dragon on the top roof of Hogwarts and fly them around.
I always wanted to see the dragons because I remember reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I can picture my room, my bedroom back home. I was laid there for like 4 days just reading this book. I wanted to see the dragons desperately.
The Horntail Dragon, Paul Catling is the concept artist, and it became apparent very early on that you could take that sort of horny addition and then extend that into the ridge of his back. And so these spines that come off his face and off his neck and his body were an extension of the horned tail. And I think in inventing that, he had latched onto something which is immediately unique, interesting. Oh my God, look at that creature.
The dragon is a great creature to work with because his scale is massive. He's the most aggressive of all the dragons. So really the key to the story was developing this persistence that the dragon had of the chase. It was absolutely single-minded in what it wanted to do. He's not an intelligent creature in the sense of he's just going to go and try and kill you. You know, it's a real sort of rip-roaring sort of ride as far as a sequence to work on.
Great tail is swishing round now!
I think developing that sequence was very exciting for Mike because I don't think he'd done anything really like that before.
The dragon chase, I couldn't get right at all, and I wandered all over the map. I was going to have the dragon burn down a forest, and everybody was looking at me saying, and that it was also beginning to cost too much. And then it was Jimmy who said, what we're going to do is we're going to have this dragon chase. The dragon is going to go skidding round, and he's going to grab onto roofs, and he delivered this brilliant sequence, which was his invention.
The dragon sequence had to just be something a little bit bigger than what was written in the book, and so when we came up with the sequence of flying around Hogwarts, it really put the pressure on us because we really wanted to up the ante, basically.
I saw this quivering character that's hung to the edge of the castle like a bat, and you thought, yeah, that's a lovely detail. You believe this dragon is something that's come from the real world, and that makes it even more stunning.
The most important thing was to get across to the audience that Harry was in danger. It wasn't Harry Potter's world, so he had to rise to the task in order to survive.
With the dragon, some of the looks that you see of peril are genuine. There were times when I was actually quite scared, but we have got a fantastic stunt department on Harry Potter who will not let me die.
The big creatures we store in here because there's quite frankly nowhere else to put them. So we have the Horntail from Goblet of Fire, and this is a functioning mechanical creature. It has a flamethrower in it that our special effects department constructed, so it can actually breathe fire.
With something like the Horntail, you read the script and you go, well, it's CG, it has to be. But there's a scene where it's in a cage. There's nothing there that can't be done for real. And so we built a fire-breathing dragon, partly because I've always wanted to build a fire-breathing dragon. Mike loved the dragons. Got some lovely video, and the first time he saw this dragon in the cage, and you could just hear Mike Newell go. And he was like a kid in a sweet shop.
Save the ride.
You're still looking at the spiders, and then I'll say Paragon.
The first shot we did in the Spider's Hollow, me and Rupert, we were just going to go over the sledge, and we got over there, and there's a 4-ton mechanical spider waiting for us on the other side. And it's got these amazing pincers things. Oh, it's really creepy.
I think not.
Aragog worked wonderfully in the book, but it was the one creature in both books that we were all really sort of terrified about designing, because a talking spider gets into a cheesy territory.
Who is it?
So we worked long and hard with our conceptual artists in designing a spider that felt incredibly old, yet a spider that we knew we could keep in the shadows a little bit. I thought that if we were in a brightly lit situation, we would be dead in the water because the audience would be laughing at this talking spider.
Hagrid, is that you?
I did some illustrations of Aragog. He was based, I think, on a wolf spider. And once you scale up a wolf spider, they're pretty scary-looking creatures. I always thought he should have had white eyes because he's blind.
You're Aragog, aren't you?
Yes.
In the movie, you see Aragog climb out of his hole and deliver dialogue, and that was all real, that's not digital. It was a complete mechanical beast.
They made an exact replica of what a spider would look like, right down to the hairs and the legs. And the mouth is one of the most repulsive things you've ever seen in your lives. It's just about your worst nightmare come true.
Dan was just going, that's really horrible, I don't like being near it. And Rupert absolutely freaked. And you think, people are not reacting to it with the fear of being near a large mechanical thing. It triggered the same responses that spiders trigger.
I'm really scared of spiders, so I didn't know really what to expect. But when I saw Aragog, it was really scary because it was massive.
Goodbye, friend of Hagrid.
Can we panic now?
It really did make me feel uneasy. I didn't really like looking at it at all. We saw that scene in the cinema. They kind of added visual effects, all these kind of moving ones on the ground, and it was that I just couldn't. I still can't watch that scene. It's absolutely terrifying.
Let's match the power of Lord Voldemort against the famous Harry Potter.
The basilisk is one of the most terrifying magical beasts that we've ever encountered in these films.
What were you trying to do to make the snake look more magical?
We're just elaborating on the textures, and we're just making things a little bit more exaggerated than, say, a normal snake.
Take it up as far as it'll go, and then give it some left and right. On number 2, the basilisk, we built the first 25 feet so that we could put it on a massive ram and put it on tracks, and we could really run it at Dan.
I was concerned about building the real basilisk. I felt that a gigantic snake needed to be mostly CGI. But Nick Dudman was very persuasive that a realistic giant mechanical version of the basilisk could be very useful, for Dan's performance. So Nick built this horrific, frightening version of the basilisk. And, Dan was able to key off of that creature. And when those young actors have something tangible to interact with, it makes their performance much more realistic.
If you've got something with fangs hurtling at you and you know it weighs 3/4 of a ton, you actually do react to it in a much better way.
When Dan is fighting on top of the stone head, he was actually fighting a mechanical version of that snake at times. And that was very intimidating because the thing weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds. But it was awe-inspiring to actually see that basilisk in person. It was pretty amazing.
In the dungeon!
What do you want to know? First thing you think about a troll is, okay, a troll is frightening, it's scary, it's horrifying. But the thing I loved about Joe's writing is that Joe created a troll that was kind of stupid, dumb, almost like some of those Warner Brothers cartoon characters that I grew up loving.
It wasn't the most intelligent creature, was it? The troll was about 15 foot tall or something and with a brain the size of a peanut.
We wanted to create a troll that would be comedic as well as frightening. So, if this troll killed you, it killed you because of its immensely dumb fury.
The original American edition, it had little illustrations in them, and the troll had spiky legs. I remember I kept on leaving it out because I couldn't make sense of it. And then Chris Columbus kept on insisting, can we have those spiky legs? So it was like, okay, so how do we make this practical? In the end, it was just imagine they were very long warts that were on his legs.
That troll was built. There was a full-grown troll lying on that bathroom floor for the kids to interact with.
Troll bogies.
Trolls then didn't appear until we were discussing on Half-Blood Prince. They were going to do a sequence where trolls ballet dance. And so we actually built 2 troll suits that were designed so that you could do ballet in them. When you look at the design of a troll, it's insane. You know, I mean, complete lummoxing things. It was completely hysterical. The whole department were just falling about. In the end, it didn't happen, because just any scene you put it in, it just destroyed the floor.
When the Pixies move like this, they shoot across the room and then shoot somewhere else. So what I need you guys to do is be looking all around the room and freaking out.
I remember in the second film, there's a scene in Gilderoy Lockhart's classroom where there are these little pixies.
No harm can befall you whilst I am here. I must ask you not to scream. It might provoke them!
The Pixies, for me, were a little homage to a film I wrote years ago called Gremlins. So the Pixies were flying gremlins, but I wanted them to have a sense of humor like the Tasmanian Devil in the old Warner Brothers cartoons. So for me, the Pixies were just the opportunity to recreate some of those characters that were part of my past.
I think the description in the book said they were blue, and I think it was just making them creaturey, as opposed to little people. Because it was a creatures class, you wanted to have these mischievous little blue creatures. I think it's probably like getting to meet a very small blue monkey.
Cornish Pixies fleetingly appearing in an explosion of havoc to sort of show up Lockhart's incompetence. I mean, no one in their right mind would even think about opening that cage door because it's sort of worse than unleashing a hornet's nest. When you see them for the first time unveiled in this cage and you see all these guys with these big eyes and these cute little faces, you don't really expect them to do anything.
Cornish Pixies?
And the moment you open the cage, everything explodes.
They attached wire to bits of my hair, and I had to pretend they were like pulling my hair.
Lots of excitement and action.
Get off me!
Stop! Hold still!
And I was like ducking and diving and like hitting them with books. I just remember having loads of fun with that scene.
Chris Columbus had several iconic images that he wanted to put in there. He wanted to see the Pixies ripping up the books and bringing the skeleton of the dinosaur crashing to the ground. And I think it kind of represents all the dastardly things that children really want to do. If they let loose, they kind of embody that repressed mischief that we all have as children.
Immobilus! Grasp your mandrake firmly. You pull it sharply up out of the pot.
I know there are much bigger and grander and more magical things, but I love the mandrakes and how they scream. This mixture of plant and animal. It seems conceivable to me.
The mandrakes are completely mechanical. And those things, sometimes you can get away with complete puppets because of the texture of their skin. They look like a radish and a turnip, and they're covered with dirt. So in a situation like that, you don't have to resort to CGI because the mandrakes are completely believable.
The mandrakes, you know, are plants with personality, and it's a tricky thing. I remember talking to Stuart about it and saying they have to look sort of babyish. So there has to be a quality of nastiness in them. Because if you feel they're cute and then cut them up, it's kind of not very nice. So you look at it, you do not feel sympathetic to these things. They're just horrible.
Our mandrakes are still only seedlings. Their cries won't kill you yet, but they could knock you out for several hours, which is why I've given each of you a pair of earmuffs for auditory protection.
I remember they asked me to faint, and I've never ever seen anyone faint before, so I had no idea really. So I just copy what I've seen on TV, and the really comedic like, oh dear me, that kind of faint. And I did it, and Chris Columbus seemed to quite like it, so we kept it with the eyes rolling back. But it was funny, and the mandrakes, they were amazing. The animatronics used in those were pretty special.
With the Grindylows, I had two stuntmen in blue suits on either side of me.
Grab him! Look up, Dan!
Each of them would grab one of my legs and just sort of pull me to and fro. So that was quite exciting.
They were described to us as the Cornish Pixies of the underwater, so the sense of mischief and desire to sort of create havoc was central to their reason. They are half octopus, half human, very interesting little creatures. It's something that I think all of us are afraid of, is putting our feet in the seaweed. Putting these creatures, Grindylows, in there is sort of playing off people's fears of the darkness under the water. Because, you know, you think, oh my God, what's in there?
The hippogriff is a kind of half horse, half eagle creature. Hagrid is obsessed with having pretty much lethal creatures as pets.
The creature, the hippogriff, exists in folklore and in mythology, so that's not my creation. But I really thought hard about this because it could have been an absurdity, and indeed it really could have been in the film as well.
The hippogriff scared me because I thought, how are you going to bring this to the screen? It's just an odd combination of animal elements. And Alfonso and I wanted any kind of scene to be character defining in some way.
These different creatures, they are just extensions of the characters. The hippogriff, in a way, was one extension of Harry's coming of age, which he discovers his inner power and his freedom. What J.K. Rowling did so beautifully is that she just explored the archetypes of what it is to grow up. You go back, you stop, but it's the kind of stop that thing, you know, when it's like, I stop, any moment it's coming, any moment it's coming.
Keep still. You have to earn the right to fly on him. So it's all about teaching respect and learning respect for Harry.
It's that excitement of being able to slightly tame a wild creature that you wouldn't normally be able to even touch. That's like being out in Africa and the lion lies down and lets you pet it.
Let you ride him now.
What? Come on.
Hey! I always remember thinking it's kind of like a parrot taking the guide wheels off the kid's bicycle for the first time. You say, you'll be fine, you won't fall off. You think, please God, don't let them fall over and break a limb.
The Fly with Buckbeak is about the empowerment of Harry. It's a 13-year-old kid who starts realizing that there's an inner power that he has to learn how to control. He needs to learn how to surrender in order to fly.
He's up in the air and he just sort of extends his arms and he's no longer earthbound and he's no longer burdened by all the problems that he has when he's on the ground. If he could only fly forever, he'd be all right.
He represents a certain wildness, and I had a real sense that he was real. The way he moved, everything about him I just loved.
We want to do an animal that is an animal. You know, it's nothing fancy. It happens to be very gracious when he's flying, very clumsy when he's walking, and sloppy. I remember one of our favorite designs, actually we discarded because it was too regal, it was too precious. This is still a work in progress because that is too playful, too light.
Alfonso is very fluid in the way he works, which means it's very difficult to tie designs down. The detail, you know, which feathers were what colour, which feathers would be slightly longer, went on month after month after month, with me going, we have to build this. And I mean, I actually really enjoyed working with Alfonso, but it was a real battle because Alfonso never really wanted that design process to end. It was a really wonderful exercise to go through, but there were days when it was the closest I've ever come to thinking, you know, the reason this hippogriff isn't going to be ready is because I'm going to have inserted it into somebody. But I'm delighted with the result.
It could move, it just looked alive. You've just never seen anything like it.
There was a kid that actually visited the set one day, and the head suddenly went down like that. And the kid absolutely, I thought they were going to die with excitement.
It was pretty ambitious. We would build an animatronic Buckbeak, and not only build him, but we took him to Glencoe in Scotland, stuck him on a mountainside in blizzard conditions, and expected all the animatronics to work. It was a challenge, to say the very least. But even though he was a physical animatronic creature, he was enhanced and replaced with a digital creature.
With the half-bird, half-horse creature, we were looking at golden eagles, basically, and the way it moved, the physiology, capturing the way that the wings move and the chest moves. A very proud, majestic creature that had this sort of dangerous side to it.
We wanted to make something that would be realistic. I mean, it's so realistic that if people watch carefully, Buckbeak actually poos, you know, but it's not a big deal. It's just like, as a matter of fact, thing that Buckbeak does.
Fawkes is a very noble creature, and what we tried to achieve with him is really making a physical embodiment of that sort of Dumbledore noblesse. He's one of those creatures who is essentially wild, who has, out of respect for that particular human, deigned to be their familiar.
Fawkes is a sort of very inscrutable bird, and like Dumbledore, just full of surprise. It's like suddenly catches fire.
He does indeed burst into flames, and he ends up as a pile of ash on the tray beneath his perch. And then this tiny little creature is reborn out of the pile of ashes. And I think the wit and the charm of this creature actually is in the rebirth, is in this funny little chick that kind of pops his head up through the ashes.
Harry needed to experience these creatures as if he's seeing something unique and totally out of his world for the first time. When the reborn Fawkes comes out of the ashes, there's a wonderful expression on Dan's face when he's looking at this thing.
Ah, fascinating creatures, Felixes.
And I really think Dan's performance captured that sense of wonder in seeing something that he's never seen before. There's this magical thing that happens with kids who are that young. They really were able to tap into that wonder.
Fawkes the Phoenix was a lovely thing to do because it was a complete creature. We had to build him on the stand, and he had to be able to move about and shuffle on the stand and all of this and react to stuff. You couldn't get a matchstick inside because of all the electronics. But he could stretch open his wings and move his head, he could blink, his beak could move, sort of everything.
For Fawkes, it was finding a puppeteer who could actually convey the warmth and the movements of the bird, and then getting the CGI version of that bird to match that. I remember one of the funniest moments was working with Richard Harris, who was a little older in the second movie, and it was the first day of shooting in his office with Fawkes.
Richard Harris comes over to us and he says, "It's absolutely amazing how they train these things, isn't it?" Chris and I stood there for a minute and thought, I said, no, it's a puppet. And he went, bleep off.
He believed that Fawkes was real. And I thought, well, we've done a good job. If our actor who's standing 2 inches away from this thing believes that it's real.
Cut. And movie camera.
Pretty good, huh?
What is it? Thestrals are sort of inextricably linked with death, and so they're quite a morbid thing, but there's something rather beautiful about them as well.
You're not going mad. I can see them too. I always see Thestrals as sort of like the character of Edward Scissorhands, because they're really strange looking, they're really creepy, and you probably wouldn't go near them because they're so skeletal and black and just alarming. But when you're nice to them, they're really gentle, they're really loyal. And I think they're misunderstood, like a lot of creatures are.
And there was something haunting and mysterious about them, something other. And at that point in the story, Harry had lost his parents. So they reflected an experience that was becoming a regular occurrence for him.
But why can't the others see them?
They can only be seen by people who've seen death.
Jo knows her mythology, and she twists it in her own brilliant way. The Thestrals were a brilliant personification of death. There's something strong and frightening, winged death flying, this sort of skeletal figure, and yet there's something kind of romantic in a fatalistic way, and I think it taps into something really deep and unconscious.
We spent a lot of time developing the character of the Thestrals themselves. We really had to get inside the head of these creatures. They do represent death, and we intended them to look quite almost grotesque in a way, but we didn't want to make them scary in a gratuitous way. They had to be regal as well. They had to be very serene and have a soul. I think that was important, that you had to feel these characters had a soul. Especially for David Yates, that the relationship that we were going to develop between Luna and Harry and the Thestrals was very important.
They're quite gentle, really, but people avoid them because they're a bit
different.
That relationship between Luna and Harry is really special. She's another outsider, but Luna's sort of made a friend of death, but she's accepted this as a fact of life.
J.K. Rowling, she said to me once, Luna's the most adjusted to death in the whole series. And I was saying even more than Dumbledore, and she said, yeah, definitely.
It was that juxtaposition of seeing Luna, this small, timid, defenseless little girl, with this great big beast to understand that these things are not dangerous and they're not frightening, but actually Luna shows that they are very, very beautiful creatures.
Luna's very wise because she's not afraid of death. She's able to stare it in the face and talk about it. That helps Harry a lot.
Jo is really interested in exploring the role of the outsider and giving them a place and giving them a voice. Ron, Harry, Hermione, in their own way, are outsiders, and creatures that she's created are part of this world. Some have been ostracized. Some people respect them. And there's a big divide in the world between those that respect those creatures and those that don't.
Hello?
I think Dobby the house elf will steal all the scenes he's in.
Dobby?
I'll deal with you later.
If I'd realised he was going to be such an upstager, I might have gone a bit bigger.
Dobby, shush, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you or anything.
I saw Dobby as sort of combination between E.T. and Bugs Bunny a little bit. You know, someone who is endearing but also slightly mischievous and annoying.
With Dobby, it's this Dickensian kind of humility, depressed little figure. I mean, the big doe eyes and the big pixie ears, pointed ears.
And the second one was there was a devious element to him. He was protecting Harry, but he was sort of causing all these problems for Harry in an attempt to save his life.
Well, the first time I worked with Dobby, I said, so where's Dobby going to be in the room? Where should I look? And they went, well, wherever you look, that's where we'll put him.
Come, Dobby.
So we're up on a little platform for me to walk down, and I swung my leg viciously. And as I got down the steps, I went, the cane like that. And so Chris goes, cut! Okay, great. You slip or something? And I went, no. No, I just kicked Dobby down the stairs. And he went, really? He said, what was the thing with the cane? I said, well, when he tried to get up, I bashed him on the head. He went, cool. But let's be honest, it's no fun sharing the screen with characters that are much loved. Particularly if you're trying to bully them.
Our goal for Dobby was to create a character that the audience would fall in love with. I wanted the audience to actually feel real emotion for Dobby.
There's a vulnerability about the character and, if you like, a humility about the character that seems to complement the magical qualities of the character. So it's a magic that's sort of humble. And I think that endears the character in a way.
Our actor who came in and did the voice of Dobby, he just nailed it completely.
Of course, Dobby is still treated like vermin.
His performance was kind of heart-wrenching. So our animators worked on that through that performance and were able to create a Dobby that was very emotional.
He's like a child, so what we do then is find those little things, find very naturalistic movements that convey this idea of childhood through the little quivers of the lips and the way that, you know, he might get so caught up that he's almost oblivious to everything else. You know, that's how a child is. It's going to give you a sense of something real that the audience will respond to and end up loving this character.
Dobby, get back here.
When I got the part, I had no idea the fondness for all the characters, but Dobby in particular sort of elicits a sort of degree of loyalty from fans that I'm now very aware of. And so I feel very honoured to play a part in realising Dobby.
You shall not harm Harry Potter.
It's odd when kids come to the set. Dobby's one of the first people they want to meet. And you don't want to pull the curtain back in Oz too much. So sometimes I say he's in his trailer.
All I ever wanted to do to Dobby when I read the book was kick him. I'm sorry, I must have been in Slytherin. But I like Kreacher. Kreacher's a bastard, and that's fine.
Nasty brat standing there as bold as brass.
Kreacher and Dobby are both elves, but you've got a good version of it and a bad version of it. They've obviously gone to different schools, followed different paths, and ended up in different places, you know.
Rob Bliss did some lovely stuff, and he did a little head, you know, it's just a little, quick little head, but he captured it, you know, it was like, yes, yeah, bastard.
He's not as wide-eyed and youthful as Dobby. He doesn't have that sort of inspiration. Kreacher, really, he doesn't care about anything, and it shows through his body, his face, his wrinkled into this scowl that is fixed on his face. His body is crooked, and I feel like he's in a lot of pain. And that's what gives him this bad nature. But perhaps, that's not who he always was. He's had a history that has made him into this very twisted, gnarly character.
Harry Potter, the boy who stopped the Dark Lord, friend of mudbloods and blood traitors alike.
I think Creature's bitter about his lot in life. But also, I think that he's a nice person waiting to happen.
Creature lives to serve the noble house of Black.
In our version of a centaur, we wanted to incorporate more of a mysterious, sort of magical horse-like quality in their features. We were actually able to create a much more malevolent, much more frightening, much more powerful centaur by giving the centaur these horse-like features and finding a voice that was extremely powerful for that centaur.
You're safe now. Good luck.
The centaurs seem to portray the best and worst aspects of human nature. They sort of show our basic instincts and how they can serve us well, and how those same instincts can go against you. Pride, being protected, being territorial. The centaurs are not free to roam, and they're aggressively protecting what territory they have left.
I warn you, under the law, as creatures of near human intelligence, protect! How dare you!
And I think what's special about what JK's done is she sort of said, well, it's our nature that has damaged our relationship with these creatures, and we're the poorer for it.
Filthy half-breed! Incautious!
To be called a filthy half-breed negates your heritage and your history. So there's that idea of wounding from the past.
The centaurs in the books are imbued with such wisdom. I don't think I've seen that before. But we kind of struggled with the representations of them on the screen.
They are impossible creatures. They have 6 limbs, which makes them impossible to render in our terms, because you step over into this area of non-credible, non-real. But nonetheless, we made a considerable effort to make them seem real.
Tell them I mean no harm!
I'm sorry, Professor. I must not tell lies.
Hagrid, what exactly are these things?
They're goblins, Harry. Clever as they come, goblins, but not the most friendly of beasts.
The goblin world doesn't like to really associate with the wizarding world particularly. Goblins will take whichever side feels best. They're happy to kind of hold the wizard's money, but I don't think they want to get involved. The goblins have elements of greed. They are fairly vicious at times, sort of menacing kind of quality. Somebody you wouldn't trust.
When we did The Goblins for the first time, David Heyman from the very beginning, said to me, this is not a fantasy film. These goblins have got to feel totally real. They've got to feel like real people in their own environment. They're very stylized, but they do fit the flavor of the first movie.
We had to find little people and apply prosthetics onto them. And that was a very difficult kind of situation, because when we got to the location where we were shooting Gringotts, some of the actors weren't really happy about this really kind of extensive makeup that they had to go through in the morning. Some of them 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So by the time the day was wearing on, some of our goblins were getting a little grumpy. And I remember one guy, I was trying to get a performance out of him, and I said, you need to convey that you hate Harry, that you hate him. And he nodded, and I said, you know what that means. And he goes, yeah, I hate you. And I said, excuse me? He goes, I hate you. And I was at a loss for words.
When we came back to it on the last movies, we sat back and thought, okay, it's been nearly 10 years. They've got to be so much better. There are 60 goblins, and I wanted every single one to be different. So 60 were sculpted.
It's a team effort. It's the person who originally drew the concept art. It's the person who then took that and sculpted the clay and created the shape. It's the person that then paints that makeup.
Creator.
And then applies it to the face.
Yeah.
There's a huge amount of people involved.
characters are multi-layered things, so you need to sort of put that in, even if it's completely artificial. Say, this is the grumpy one, you know, I think this one doesn't like that one. This one can't sit down easily. Let's give him a bit of an Elvis, or, you know, let's have a bit of a comb over. There's no logic to it, but that can drive a sculpt. I don't think anyone's ever done anything like this in Britain before, on this scale.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
I think it's looking lovely. Bam.
Peter Pettigrew is a man who's been a rat for the last 13 years. And so he has to behave still like a rat.
He had 12 years as a rat. You know, it's going to rub off, isn't it? In your habit, it wouldn't make you very clean in your habits, would it?
Haven't I been a good friend, a good pet? You won't let them give me to the Dementors, will you? I was your rat.
Tim went for it. Let's do the ears a little pointier, and let's have hair in the ears, and let's have a lot of hair coming out of your nose, and let's add like 2 big teeth in the front.
He's always got his hands sort of out like that, and there is a sort of a thing that happens to him. You know, it's like a cringing sort of, and you know, so it's a rat in human form.
Wow, I think of him, and he's creepy.
Flesh of the servant, willingly sacrificed.
Kind of quite protective of Wormtail, although he's a dastardly beast and a malevolent, craven, two-faced swine. I've got affection for him. Yes, it can't help it. It's got to survive. There's not a career scheme down in the sewer. You can't retrain and become a guinea pig or a fluffy rabbit. And Pettigrew is the ultimate survivor. He'd probably survive a nuclear explosion.
I think Lupin is perhaps Joe's greatest creation in some ways as a character. I think he's so heartbreaking in many ways.
Your mother was there for me at a time when no one else was. She had a way of seeing the beauty in others, even and perhaps most especially when that person could not see it in themselves.
When you think about the werewolf that is Professor Lupin, it's nothing but that dark side that is behind this very sweet character. We always used to say that he's your favorite uncle that has like a dark secret. You know, you don't know if he has skeletons in the closet or some weird secret that the family tends to just keep quiet.
He's a werewolf! That's why he's been missing classes.
It was a way of showing that grown-ups too are flawed, because Lupin is flawed. He's not completely honest about what he is. He's vulnerable, he's afflicted by his past, he's very vulnerable to public opinion, and he tries to compensate for that.
You know the man you truly are, Remus. This flesh is only flesh. This heart is where you truly live.
There's no real point in playing Lupin overtly as a werewolf that there will be anything that his character that shows. I mean, physically he's scratched, and of course then there's the transformation, which there's a lot to think about then.
Having all this reference of great werewolves in many, many, many films, we wanted to challenge the concept.
We had an American guy called Wayne Barlow came on. Wayne did a drawing that was of a werewolf that was looking a bit more pathetic and a bit more kind of sad and a bit kind of messed up and hairless as well. And that kind of had a spirit that Alfonso liked.
We did build a werewolf suit. That was, I think, the worst nightmare I've ever had. The design was very, very skeletal. And I kept saying, well, yeah, but to put somebody in it, you know, we can't cut bits off actors. They don't like that. So, you know, we're going to have to make some concession.
At one point I was going to hang from chains, and these animatronic legs they built were going to stretch and come out of my knees, so I had to be hung from chains. And that turned out not to be practical, much to my relief, because it looked really very uncomfortable to do that.
We had a kickboxer and a dancer, and they were both very, very slim. So we made some lovely stilts, and the guys could actually run about on these stilts. But when we put them in the real suit, it was so tight that it actually did restrict their movement slightly. And when you're balancing 3 feet off the ground, gives you that sort of thing.
And house.
The restrictions of the costume meant he couldn't be quite as athletic. Alfonso wanted something athletic. He wanted this thing coming in fast and, you know, pouncing and fighting with the dog especially. And eventually we just found it through this process of back and forth and working with Alfonso. When I think werewolf, I think American Werewolf in London, which is one of my favourite films. But this was scarier because it looks human gone wrong. And that's, I think, always more frightening than a monster. It's got that creepy, spindly, slightly naked look, but it's a beast and it's dangerous.
I think the fundamental differences between Lupin and Greyback is that Lupin doesn't want to be a werewolf, and Greyback's just can't wait for the next full moon so he can bite some faces off. But also Greyback is stuck between being a werewolf and a human.
I started off looking as a man when I was first infected, but I've changed so many times, and every time I change, I retain a little bit of wolf in me, and so I'm becoming more and more of a wolf.
If you saw this guy at a distance, you'd just think, it's a big guy and he looks rather threatening.
You know, the minute you come here, he's like the lamb and you're the wolf.
And I'm just looking for an opportunity to get
Yeah, and it's only when you get really close to him that you would make a connection as to what's happening here. He's taken on wolf-like characteristics. The character of Greyback, when you read the book, he's a child killer. He's a very, very nasty predator.
I think he's probably the most evil man because he is a man and he doesn't necessarily have to be as horrible as he is. But what I found in him was there's a sense of isolation, that if the world treated him like he was one of them, he might accept that because he's an outcast, then he feels rejected and he's going to make everyone pay.
I think that the dark creatures are the fear. They do represent our darkest fears. She's maybe latched onto creatures that are naturally scary, such as werewolves and giant spiders and things. But I think the most interesting creatures are the ones that she's completely created herself, such as Dementors.
The Dementors are these creatures which drain every person in their vicinity of every joyous feeling and leaves them with nothing.
I had a nightmare when I was in my teens in which I saw hooded gliding figures, and that image haunted me. And the Dementors for me were about depression. And I joined the two. When I was looking for something, I thought that's what they would be like. And then I had to decide what was under the hood. What is the final consequence of very, very severe depression, where you exist without hope? I had to make that visual, so I described the eyeless face, you know, with just the gaping, sucking mouth.
For me, it was more a process of understanding what these creatures are. This is not a monster that's going to come and attack you and rip you into pieces. It's something way more abstract.
I remember one point, I think, with Alfonso, when he was going on about loads of eyes, there was something, he had this big thing about the Dementors and lots of eyes.
Remember, there was the storyboards of Dementors approaching the train. A week later, I just started hearing rumors that everybody was so proud to be working with a genius. And they would say, wow, your surreal imagery is amazing. Until I see the storyboards, and there's water. And the water transforms into ice. I didn't know how to tell them that I meant ice like frozen water. Because I was already a genius.
It was a difficult one because essentially it was a big load of cloth. It was like I personally couldn't find a way of drawing that.
We used as reference people who'd been embalmed and the cloth that was wrapped around them coming away.
We even bring this puppeteer from San Francisco, and we did tests like for 10 days of puppeteering underwater that then we would shoot backwards to create like the whole eerie effect.
You know, the first time you see one, the third film, and you see the cloth hand come around in the train is very effective.
You were scared for everybody sitting on the train. Alfonso was quite keen that they were spectral and almost at a distance all the time, so they didn't have to touch you. They would hover close to you and the world around you would freeze, but they'd actually be able to just do all of their necessary damage and just purely through the soul suck.
Alfonso wanted to scare kids. He wanted those Dementors to be terrifying. Because it's not a happy world all the time. Harry Potter is a dangerous world.
You're dying. Both of you.
We want to tap into that darkness, and Alfonso did that.
The Dementors scene was the moment where I first sort of went, this film is going to be really, really scary. When David talked me through the ideas for the scene, I thought, wow, this is really, really brilliant.
In the book, it's in an alley, and it was David Yates' idea to set it in this underpass. So that was brilliant, you know, this confined, scary, and yet very real place.
An underpass is kind of cold and creepy. This is where bad things happen. It felt like a natural fit to introduce the Dementors into that arena.
To juxtapose that with these terrifying creatures made them all the more frightening somehow.
Rather than just making it about a soul suck, we wanted to give them more physicality. So there's a moment where they pick him up and slam him against the wall.
There's always something sensorial about that and about the dampness of them and the way a bony finger can press against Harry's neck and the marks that it can leave and the smell that they have when they get particularly close. When talking to Dan about those things, what does it feel like when that breath starts to brush against your nostril just before they start to try and suck out your soul?
There's a moment when the scene sort of holds and both of them are trapped. You know, Dudley's lying down and Harry's up against the wall and you think it's over and David just sort of lingers on that horrific moment, letting you savor it.
Expecto Patronum!
Lumos.
The Inferi are the living dead. We didn't want them to be your classic zombie, but we imbued them with a melancholy and a sadness and the humanity, or humanity that's been taken away.
I saw some of the early concept drawings in Creature Effects. They're nasty, they're horrible, like rotting corpses.
They push very hard for them to be scary. Beyond that, I did just think if I had been kept underwater for 20 years, I'd come up looking white and skinny.
It was really important that you almost felt sorry for these people because they're ultimately the victims of Voldemort. They're not there out of choice. So we wanted to try and tap into a human-looking skeletal form, but that was more dead-looking, if you like.
My chief sculptor, Julian Murray, spent months sculpting Inferi. It's really tricky. You know, you read it and they're all horrible and skeletal, ghastly things. It was, yes, they're creeping me out, but are they creeping me out for the right reason? We're making a kids' movie here. We're not making an indictment of human cruelty.
At the same time, it's important. We created a pretty scary sequence. When Harry falls under the water, we really wanted to develop the whole extent of how vast this world of Inferi were.
We did movement tests with people. They were a combination, I think, of dancers and movement artists that we literally said, OK, move in an interesting way. They're dead souls. But we wanted something off and weird about them.
At one time we had these conjoined Inferi, the idea that these bodies had been under the water for so long that they actually had fused together and become like coral. Just the idea that these creatures could become multi-limbed, multi-headed bodies. It was an interesting stage to go through to really try and develop these things. But we ended up with something that was more realistic looking. I think that's probably the most scary thing in a way.
There's a line in a poem somewhere. It's about the First World War. It's Wilfred Owen, I think, where he talks about a person who has breathed in some horrible poison gas, and it says that he had the face of a devil sick with sin. And I always thought that Voldemort ought to look like a devil sick with sin, that what he's given himself over to world domination, and he was prepared simply to sacrifice any humanity in himself. He had to have been human, but now have regularly pushed aside his humanity.
Voldemort was a combination of baby and somebody who's so critically disabled, lost all its power, all its strength, all its vitality. I think the attitude of the feet and the toes and of the hands are absolutely inspired, you know. It's that thing that the best artists have that immediately hits a chord, and I think those shriveled, curled feet do exactly that.
When we first sort of get introduced to Voldemort in the fourth film, when he's coming back, when he's being reborn, he's very much a creature, you know, he's not whole human. And we see the birth of him.
He's not human anymore because he's split his soul so many times. He's become this sort of aberration of humanity.
He is, you know, a complete, unreserved animal side of human nature. And when he's reborn, he really is this sort of out-of-control force of nature.
I think Voldemort becomes more of a creature and less human as the story goes on. In Order of the Phoenix, I always thought of him as a person. I always wanted to imagine, as unpleasant as it was, what the world looked like through those eyes. Somebody who genuinely believes that love is a joke, that anybody who trusts anybody else is a fool. I think it makes it harder to dismiss him, because I think there's a little tiny bit of Voldemort in all of this.
Do it!
So weak. I wanted Harry to have that moment of pity, if not compassion, pity.
You'll never know love or friendship. And I feel sorry for you.
To me, there's something tragic about him. At some point, he was just a little kid who got abandoned on a doorstep.
I can
can make bad things happen to people who are mean to me. I can make them hurt. If I want.
When I saw my nephew, Hero, who played the young Tom Riddle, Voldemort, he has such a wonderful quality of a boy's loneliness because the world has rejected him, which is the beginning of a sort of rage against the world.
Well, I'm like you, Tom. I'm different.
Prove it.
He's a lost soul, he's mad, he's lost, he's totally screwed up. And the only thing that fires him is more power, more ability to destroy people.
You're a fool, Harry Potter. And you will lose everything.
The creatures in Harry's world all present challenges. They're nearly always something that's there to be overcome. They're way stations in Harry's journey.
I think the creatures are about that myth of slaying the dragon. It is controlling the uncontrollable or destroying the undestroyable. So the creatures are obstacles that Harry needs to overcome to prove himself.
I think he's learning throughout all of the stories that we are defined by actions, not what we say, but what we do.
Dobby is free. Harry is the sort of character that learns from all of the creatures. Harry learns respect and grace under pressure.
Don't you turn your back on me!
And the nature of true courage.
You'll be okay, Harry. You're a great wizard. You really are.
Expecto Patronum!
Welcome to the Creature Shop. At Leavesden Studios here, we do all the prosthetic makeup, animatronic creatures, CG models, anything like that. We maintain a load of things here for people visiting so they can just see stuff. And so in our foyer here, we have things like our hippogriff here and a thestral here, which are examples of two completely different approaches, because this is a CG model in that it's a sculpt that's been painted and made to look lovely, but it's being scanned by a laser, and the creature itself is being built in the computer. This hippogriff is a functioning model, so this creature is basically a machine. When something actually has to move, it becomes quite difficult to manufacture. Every feather is cut individually, it's coloured individually, and glued on individually. And we made 3 of these things. So it's months and months and months of work for a large crew. But it's the only way you get something that actually moves like real flesh or like a real creature.
He's going to take you
The object of the exercise with any of these creatures, it's that it looks as real as possible, so that you can go totally close on it, and it can be seen, 100 feet across on a massive cinema screen, in close-up, and it'll hold up. And then through here, we have a whole variety of smaller objects. I mean, we have little dragon cages, Mad-Eye Moody's leg, monster books, shrunken heads, Mrs. Norris, Fang the dog. This is a stunt dog for the second movie, just because they were driving the car through the woods and you couldn't put the real dog in the back of the car. But this stunt dog did actually move by radio control, and it did dribble like the real dog as well, which we put in just really to upset Rupert, but it does work. We have werewolf suits, Dobby the house elf down here, and various goblin werewolf maquettes, and frozen bodies. In the second movie, the kids who get, and Nearly Headless Nick, who get paralyzed by seeing the basilisk, we made silicone dummies of those, which have to be shot in close-up, so they're very detailed. Goblins from the first film, these are background heads up here, so they're pretty crude. Nothing like the stuff we're producing at the moment. But, for their time, they did the job. We tend to fill up the shelf space with maquettes, primarily because we have tours and things, people coming through and they see stuff. But it also reminds us, if we're going back to a character that's working, if you're doing greyback, like these are all greyback maquettes. I mean, most of our characters, they start off as sketches, and then you progress to larger concepts, and after that, actual makeup pieces, things like that. So we leave these out because it just reminds people of the stages we went through to arrive at something, because sometimes you end up with something that's actually very simple, very straightforward, but the road to getting there is very complex. You're coming into the moulding area now, into our mould shop. This is where sculpts come to actually be moulded so that we can produce out of those moulds the flexible silicone or foam latex actual bits that get used. We do this for every single character, and I mean, if you look around the room, there's an awful lot of moulds here, but there are 40-foot containers on the back lot just filled with moulds from all 8 movies. They're all catalogued, they're all photographed. It takes time to produce them, so it actually represents a huge volume of work. If you have a full-grown actor in, and his life cast is probably good for a couple of years, unless he, say, puts on a load of weight or something like that. Whereas the kids, they were completely different, especially in the early years. They were dramatically different between movies. So we got them in and it was a whole new thing again, from scratch. This is our art finishing department, and this is where all the silicone pieces come through to be painted prior to being stuck on people as makeups, or to be haired, where we put eyebrows in, like one hair at a time, all of that kind of thing. But this is where the art finish occurs. Because all our prosthetic makeup pieces are only used once, and then they're discarded, everything has to be reproduced. So everyone in here has to be able to not only paint very realistically, but they have to be able to reproduce the same paint job, exactly the same, time after time after time. And so something like this, which is a goblin prosthetic piece, there'll be a load of these, and they have to match. Not only do they get painted, but they have to be eyebrowed. I've asked them to make the eyebrows one hair at a time. They're punched in with needles, which is very, very slow, painstaking, repetitious work. We're in the animatronic shop here. Now, this is where basically we make the things move. Anything that requires a skeleton and an internal structure that is capable of motion ends up in here. Practically every piece of metal inside these things is made in-house, because to make everything fit together, you have to sort of do it from scratch. If you look at this, one of the reasons the movement is so nice and organic is, again, this is a very soft silicone skin. Every hair has been punched in individually. This is all bristle, and it makes the movement become very organic on the outside and just brings it to life. Hedwig has sort of been in all the movies at some point where the real owl is a problem, it's too noisy, or it's flapping away in the background. You can put something in that you can control. These, at the moment, are being operated in a very simple way, in that we're using radio control transmitters, the kind of thing you would use for a model aircraft. And Jim's operating at the moment, just moving things about. If something gets very complicated, and you end up with a whole team of people having to use machines like this, you bring in a computer system and you program it so that you end up with a load more different movements, a whole number of movements, but being controlled by one or 2 people. We're in the Scout Hut now. Why it's called the Scout Hut, I have no idea. But we do a lot of our big sculpture in here. We have our basilisk from Chamber of Secrets. This is the one that Dan actually stabbed through the roof of the mouth. It's still got all the stuff in it. It has nostril flare, and it can open its mouth, and its tongue moved, and its eyes moved. And it was on a rig, along with about 25 feet of the body, so it was quite a big, very basic but big, tough animatronic. And we have the dead Aragog from Half-Blood Prince, which is pretty battered now, but made him completely differently because I wanted to be able to get light to come through the legs. I wanted it to be translucent, like a dead curled-up spider you see in the bath. You know, if you catch the light, they look like they've gone hollow. And that's what I tried to catch with this, which did actually work very well, but it was an incredibly toxic material we made it out of, and everyone had to wear suits and gloves, and it was quite revolting to deal with. And over here we have an early concept piece for the Dementors from HP3. This particular model was made purely to see if we could capture the way a particular type of fabric behaved. This dragon model was specifically made to breathe fire. So this tongue piece here is actually concealing the gun of a flamethrower. It worked fantastically. I mean, it was really scary stuff because it never occurred to me that when you actually release gas under pressure and ignite it, it's not just that you get a fireball, you get a very loud noise, and it made all of us jump out of our skins. I've been on this now nearly 10 years. I think the ability to put something that is a fantasy creature in front of people is actually the joy, it's the kick I get. You know if you get it right, if people react to a creature as if it's a real creature. You know, that is a hippogriff, and it's standing there in front of you, and if you go near it, it'll bite you. You know, I've stood in a wood at night watching a dragon breathe fire. That is magic.
Harry Potter has touched the lives of millions worldwide. After breaking nearly every best-selling book record, this famous boy wizard has become a cultural phenomenon.
With magic, anything can happen. I think people like to read about that. I know I do.
I was one of the biggest Harry Potter fans ever.
The magical story created from the imagination of a single mother.
3 was the best writing experience I ever had.
Spawned a bestseller turned Hollywood screenplay.
Quidditch. Oh, that is so cool. I wish I could do that.
And from literally thousands of hopefuls,
they chose me, which was amazing.
3 young actors have come to embody the characters of Harry Potter we all know so well.
No, this is all a dream. Pinch me.
The result? Nearly $2 billion at the box office. And that's just the first 2 films. Now it's time for the next chapter in this page-to-screen phenomenon.
I am so overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's amazing. It's so brilliant that everyone's come out.
I just can't believe it.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban will undoubtedly rival the success of its predecessors, adding new depth to familiar themes with a chilling new approach.
The first one is incredibly intense emotionally. It's a lot darker. It's just another progression.
Really got goosebumps when I saw a couple of those things.
Everything has changed. It's very, very upbeat.
It's very funny, it's very suspenseful.
It's different, but it's good.
Harry Potter and his friends are growing up.
Draco himself has matured.
Filthy little mudblood.
Foul and loathsome evil little cockroach!
Slightly.
She's rock and roll. She's girl power.
That felt good.
Returning cast members are joined by some of Britain's greatest actors.
Welcome to another year at Hogwarts.
I feel as though I've been in it for years.
Magical new creatures. And a fresh new direction.
It's Alfonso's version of my world. It's his baby.
He's got this boundless energy. I don't know where he gets it from.
They were willing to explore emotional territories that they hadn't explored before.
Join us as we explore the captivating world of Harry Potter, where we go behind the scenes with rare footage and stories from all 3 films.
I think all are, to some extent, a story about a boy looking for a father.
And preview an exclusive scene from the new movie, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
It really is magic.
Expecto Patronum!
It's all part of Harry's wonderful world of witchcraft and wizardry. In The Magic Touch of Harry Potter. Harry Potter has captured the imagination of moviegoers the world over.
Set up this bar where we want to just consistently, hopefully, top ourselves and make better films.
Today, the phenomenon of this formidable franchise includes 5 published books with 2 more on the way, 2 blockbuster films, the premiere of a 3rd movie, and a 4th film already in production.
3 was the best writing experience I ever had. Of the 5 books that are published, writing Azkaban was the easiest.
The latest film to come out of J.K. Rowling's celebrated series is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban prison. He's a murderer.
All teenagers kind of have a lot of problems, but Harry's majorly screwed up in this one. First of all, I mean, he thinks somebody's actually trying to kill him.
I want you to swear to me you won't go looking for Black.
Why would I go looking for someone who wants to kill me?
I'm this dark sort of figure who has escaped, and I'm after Potter.
Sirius Black has spent the last 12 years in prison because it is thought that he was responsible for the murder of Harry's parents and several others.
If you want to kill Harry, you'll have to kill us too.
No, only one would die tonight. Then it'll be you!
This is where Harry literally learns how to take care of himself. He literally saves his own life without realizing it, and he finds his father, as it were.
Are you going to kill me, Harry?
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban explores some of the same themes as the first 2 films.
I think all are, to some extent, a story about a boy looking for a father, and what happens to people who don't have fathers.
What is it the boy's father did, Petunia?
Nothing. He didn't work. He was unemployed.
And a drunk too, no doubt.
That's a lie.
What did you say?
My dad wasn't a drunk.
In 1990, J.K. Rowling was a struggling single mother living in Scotland who sat in coffee shops and spun a fantastical story about an orphan boy who discovers he's a wizard. At the time, she had no notion of the magic she was brewing. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone eventually transformed Rowling into the most successful scribe of children's literature of all time, and Hollywood came calling. By the fall of 1998, the former French teacher collaborated with Warner Brothers Pictures to bring Harry Potter to life on the big screen.
When I first met Jo, I made a promise to her that we would be faithful to the book.
Knight to e5. That's wizard's chess.
With the challenge to live up to the material, the film's producers set out to hire a director with the right magic for the mix.
We met with several directors, and one of whom was Chris Columbus.
I had the opportunity to essentially go in and audition for the role. I mean, there were a lot of directors who were interviewed. I just felt like it didn't matter to me. I knew I wanted to do this movie. I knew I was meant to do this movie.
And action!
Hey, Hagrid.
I was willing to do anything. If they wanted me to sing and dance, I would have tried that, if it meant that I had the opportunity to direct the movie.
I'll say 1, 2, 3, and action. The food appears. Set!
After meeting these people and hearing what they had to say and their passion for the material, there was no question in our mind that Chris was the right person for the job.
Big reaction. That's almost lunchtime for you guys, yeah. Quiet, please. My feeling was to work with Jo Rowling as much as possible to understand sort of what she saw in this world.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what? Wow.
He was just very clearly the right director. He understood the material. He got it.
Chris Columbus, who had made his mark directing Home Alone and Mrs. Doubtfire, was hired in the spring of 2000. Then the hunt began for the perfect Harry Potter.
Finally, your chance to become a movie star. The makers of the new Harry Potter film are looking for children to play the 3 main roles in the multi-million-pound film.
By July, they auditioned over 16,000 kids, but they still did not have their Harry.
Steve Clovis and I walked into the theatre and there was this boy, and so struck by him, and all through the play I could barely pay attention. I realized that this boy had something very special, had the quality that we were looking for.
The twist was, he was not discovered on stage, but was just another member in the audience. Not long after, 11-year-old Daniel Radcliffe was called in for an audition.
And we sent a tape up to Jo Rowling to get her approval. She felt that Dan was the perfect Harry. She said something like, I feel like I've been reunited with my long-lost son.
There must have been hundreds of millions of people that auditioned, and they chose me, which was amazing.
We always talked about this haunted quality that Harry had, because Harry has essentially lived his life in a cupboard under the stairs.
What have you got to say for yourself?
I swear, I don't know how it happened. 1 minute the glass was there, and then it was gone. It was like magic.
And suddenly to be thrown into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where he's suddenly accepted by people and he suddenly realizes that he has to confront his fears.
Good afternoon.
I realize it takes an actor of great depth and intelligence to play that role. And Dan Radcliffe is the only 11-year-old I've ever met who has that quality. You just see it in his eyes. This is a really deep soul, and that's what I loved about him.
Of course! There are other things defending the stone, aren't there? Spells, enchantments.
That's right. Waste of bloody time, if you ask me.
We tested a lot of kids, and once we saw these 3 kids on screen together, we realized that there was an enormous amount of chemistry between them, and we thought, these are the kids.
It's locked! That's it. We're done for. Oh, move over! Hello, Hamora. Get in. Hello, Hamora. Standard Book of Spells, Chapter 7.
There they are. It's Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and, of course, Daniel Radcliffe. Thank you.
I was like, oh my God, I just stood there. Thought, no, this is all a dream. Pinch me.
155, take 4.
And then it all started happening.
And background.
With Emma Watson, who plays Hermione, I just found her to be very much like the character I had read in the books. Intelligent.
You're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
And with a great sense of herself, and also just an amazing actress. And Rupert Grint, same thing.
You're a little scary sometimes.
I was one of the biggest Harry Potter fans ever, and just to play Ron in the Harry Potter film has really been fantastic.
When I met him, I thought, this is Ron Weasley.
All right, Harry, you take the empty Bishop Square. Hermione, you'll be the Queenside Castle. And as for me, I'll be a knight.
For me, the opportunity to work with some of these people is a dream come true. This is the first time that I can remember I've ever had the opportunity of getting the first person I had listed for each role. So it was Richard Harris, perfect Dumbledore.
Let the feast begin.
My granddaughter called me and said, Papa, she said, if you don't play Dumbledore, I will never speak to you again.
Maggie Smith, perfect for Professor McGonagall.
There's some wonderful parts. You don't often get to play wizards and things like that. It's great.
Robbie Coltrane was the first choice for Hagrid.
I think my son would have killed me if I hadn't done it, really.
Of course I know, Harry. Of course I do. Who do you suppose it was that carried you from your parents' house Halloween night 10 years ago?
Because people loved the book so much, they wanted to be in the film. That's how we were able to get such an amazing cast together. As our first choices not only made themselves available, but were anxious to do the film.
I don't know how you 3 found out about the stone, but I assure you it is perfectly well protected. Now, will you please go back to your dormitories? Quietly.
When you see total quality, you want to be part of it.
Are you, Harry, who have never known your family? You see them standing beside you. But remember this, Harry. This mirror gives us neither knowledge or truth.
The popularity of Harry Potter continues to grow around the world. The first 2 films in the franchise have been seen in more than 60 countries. And in 2001, the Isle of Man honored the sensational series by issuing legal tender in the form of gold and silver coins. Her Majesty on one side and Harry Potter on the other.
I present J. Rowling.
The phenomenon of Harry Potter has translated into immense success for J.K. Rowling. She's become one of the wealthiest women in the world. Today, her worth is estimated to be more than the Queen of England. And it all began with the fairy tale story of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Hagrid, we know he's after the stone, we just don't know why.
Snape is one of the teachers protecting the stone. He's not about to steal it.
What?
You heard.
Based on the book, the first film was released in November 2001. The supernatural story of witchcraft and wizardry grossed nearly $1 billion worldwide.
That was bloody brilliant.
Oh, thank you for that assessment, Mr. Weasley.
If anybody could work out what has attracted these millions and millions and millions of children to read, apart from anything else, that would be, you know, something that would be worth finding out. And I don't think anybody will ever get to the bottom of that, but something has actually caught everybody's imagination.
Swish and flick. Everyone. Swish and flick.
I think it's magic. It's a global, universal hope in people's lives that maybe there's a little bit of magic in my life.
Harry Potter is a boy who, like all of us, has flaws.
Tell me, what would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood? You don't know?
I don't know, sir.
Pity.
It's a very dark story. You're dealing with a child whose parents have been killed.
An orphan is someone that has to live without parents.
I don't need a cloak to be invisible.
To have to do without that seems like a real hero.
It's his quest for an identity, his quest to find out who he is.
It's about his transition from being what he thought was a completely normal boy into a hero of a magical kingdom. The character of Harry kind of jumps off the page at you. He's so real. I can think of quite a few boys like him.
He's gone? Now? But this is important. This is about the Sorcerer's Stone.
Throughout the film, Harry discovers that there is such a thing in his life as hope, something he's never had. There is magic, and he finds his inner strength and courage as he needs to face his deepest and darkest fears later in the film.
Nearly 1,000 crew members worked more than 6 months shooting the first film.
It's magical, but it's also a fantastic demonstration of people's skill. And the great joy of filmmaking, of course, is that it's not a solitary activity. It's a huge team of people.
Harry Potter. Can't tell you how pleased I am to meet you. The people that work towards making this happen are all very, 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 very good at what they do.
Fascinating subject. Not that you need it, eh, Potter?
My goal was to be as true to the integrity of the material, and I felt that the only way to do that was to remain faithful to the book.
Your father left this in my possession before he died. It is time it was returned to you. Use it well.
The creative crew consulted author J.K. Rowling during the production.
She was this fantastic resource in helping us deepen the world and be true to the world that she'd created.
Some kind of cloak. Well, let's see then. Put it on. Whoa! My body's gone!
To see this one person's imagination made flesh and bones and blood in such an extraordinary way. I mean, we were shooting The Great Feast in the Great Hall, and this is an enormous set with 300 children with their little pointy black hats on, and grown-up actors getting to dress up.
Let the feast begin.
One of the mantras in the film for us when we were making it was, we want this to be unlike anything we've ever seen. We want to do things that really you have no other filmic reference for it. You don't have any filmic reference for a ceiling that reflects the night sky.
If you took 1 million people, and J.K. Rowling was one of them, then she'd probably be the only one out of those people to think up Quidditch. And when I read it, I'm like, oh, that is so cool, I wish I thought of that.
The sets are so extraordinary. I mean, Stuart Craig has done the most amazing job.
What's pleasing about what we've done and what we're continuing to do is the number of children especially who said, oh, it's just like I imagined it would be.
It's a very accurate representation of Joe Rowling's world, and that's one of the things I'm most proud of.
In November 2001, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone debuted on more screens than any film in movie history at the time.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
That, and as you get down, lift the books like that, looking over the books.
Within weeks, shooting began on the second film, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
And then down like this.
Laugh if you will, Mr. Finnegan. See what you make of them. No!
The second film has proved to be much more of a challenge, but hopefully I've met the challenge.
Ron, this is it. The monster in the Chamber of Secrets is a basilisk. That's why I can hear it speak.
And it's really much easier now. We all got to know each other and relax with each other.
Sorry, love. The differences in the second one, I think that what we really wanted to explore is the fact that the kids are getting older. It's the second year at Hogwarts for these 3 children.
This is bad.
What's bad? If I hadn't told that snake not to attack Justin, then who... that's what you said to her.
I was watching Dan and Rupert standing there, and I thought they don't stand like wee boys anyway.
Essentially, the kids grew up together. Shooting back-to-back movies, they became best friends.
I wouldn't have swapped this for anything. It was a really fun time, and it's the best experience, especially me, Rupert and Emma, and some of the other kids have developed really strong bonds now as well.
Amazing to me, casting chemistry of the central trio. Clearly get on very well, and you are a good company.
I'm so determined to embarrass me.
I'm not determined to embarrass you. I'm determined to be taller than you are.
They don't seem like 50-year-old lawyers, which a lot of American child actors do.
But if there really is a Chamber of Secrets, and it's really been opened, that means that...
The heir of Slytherin has returned to Hogwarts. The question is, who is it?
It's all about making those kids, the core of kids, feel comfortable on the set, and they really love being there. That's fantastic. That is great. But guys,
He is a fantastic director.
scared down here. The 3 of you scared down here is fantastic. You guys just naturally ended up here, which is great.
Somehow, he kind of takes away the stress and makes it fun.
Don't think of that. So the first one, you know, Scabbers is there. 1, 2, 3.
Brachiam. Emendo.
The new defense against the dark arts teacher in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was anything but dark.
Yes, well, that can sometimes happen.
Gilderoy's something of a dandy.
Tut, tut. Hardly any of you remember that my favorite color is lilac.
He struts rather peacock kind of side to him.
Hermione is seriously dreamy about Lockhart. He is basically the Brad Pitt of her day.
As you can see,
And
he sportingly agreed to
she's just obsessed with him.
Now, I don't want any of you youngsters to worry. You'll still have your notions.
Every lesson, she just sits there with her hands like this going, oh, I love him, I love him, I love him.
Well, there you have it. That was a disarming charm.
Girls love him. Boys hate him. They're just embarrassed by him. He's cringeworthy. He's... ugh.
Thank you, Miss Clearwater. Yes, an excellent idea to show them that, Professor. But if you don't mind me saying so, it was pretty obvious what you were about to do.
He pretends to be brave and strong, and he pretends to be a gracious person, but in reality, he's not any of those things. He's a complete and utter phony.
It's a burden to be Gilderoy Lockhart, but it has to be done.
Now, Draco, play nicely. Mr. Potter. Lucius Malfoy. We meet at last.
Jason Isaac's character is Lucius Malfoy. He is a slime ball, basically.
Out of my way, Potter.
I do my best to get Dumbledore out of the way. It's always on my agenda to get Harry out of the way.
How very fortunate we are, Mr. Potter, to have you around to save the day.
The camera loves him, and unfortunately, the camera loves him in a really evil way. He personifies evil to me on screen.
Forgive me. Your scar is legend, as of course is the wizard who gave it to you.
In the first story, you saw my son Draco, and I watched the first film to see who my son was and maybe decide how to play his dad.
Do you think there's someone here who's worse than Dumbledore?
His dad comes into play. So he gets a lot worse, and poor old Harry seems to take the blow.
Good one, girl. You're absolutely right. Saint Potter.
My main aim in this film has been to be booed and hissed and hated as much as possible.
Come, Dobby. We're leaving.
Even scarier than some of the characters were the strange new creatures lurking about Hogwarts.
Well, I was a bit jumpy about that scene because I'm really scared of spiders.
Fast!
So I didn't know really what to expect.
Grab, you grab it. You can grab it harder than that. Fight him, right? Right? Then he'll say, move to your right. No, your other right. And then he's zapped.
3, 2, fight!
Giant spiders were only part of the brew that made for a much creepier film.
Well, the book's a little darker, and the script's darker.
Do you know?
Harry himself finds out he may be the link to the mystery inside the Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets.
He's actually a suspect in terms of being the heir of Slytherin, the person who's causing the potential deaths of a lot of people around the school.
It's got a lot more emotional depth, especially to Harry's character. It's a lot scarier, a lot darker, a lot creepier.
It was also exciting to make it slightly more of an action-adventure film this time around, which is really exciting to me. It appeals to the 10-year-old boy inside of me.
Scared, Potter?
You wish.
Hollywood stunt magicians help prepare these dueling wizards for a fierce grudge match.
Inverte status!
I like doing stunts as long as there's not too much chance of death and pain involved.
Rictus Emperor!
I've now developed kind of two instincts. If I'm in a situation in the film, I think, how would Harry react to this? And so I try to bring that across onto the screen.
In Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the world's most famous wizard battles nightmares with newfound confidence.
Wood, look out!
It's a lot of fun. I am so lucky. How many kids in the world would pay thousands to be doing this right now?
Can't be there yet.
What's going on? Dunno. Maybe we've broken down.
For the last 4 years, tourism has skyrocketed in the United Kingdom, thanks in large part to the magical adventures of a wizard named Harry Potter.
This is where they use the backdrop for the scenes where Harry goes into the trophy room.
Scores of fans come to visit Harry Potter film locations, from southern England to the Highlands of Scotland, where filming took place on the new movie, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Set and action!
Begun in February of 2003, the massive production spanned 9 months.
Remarkable feat, don't you think? To enter Hogwarts Castle on one's own, completely undetected.
Yes, quite remarkable, yes.
Any theory as to how he might have managed it?
Many, each as unlikely as the next.
For the first time since Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, someone new was in the director's chair.
You're about to lose the battle when finally comes out, okay? So you want to... With that finalized? Yeah, your patron is...
Just by looking at the film, you can tell it's a different director.
I probably didn't have the physical energy to get into a third one immediately.
If we come
from here.
Had a list of directors, thought, wouldn't it be great if somebody like Alfonso Cuarón would do the movie? We found out that he loved the first two movies. He was in love with the material and he wanted to do it.
Chris Columbus remained on board as producer, and they made the interesting choice of bringing on Mexican director Alfonso Cuarón, who made the art house hit Y Tu Mama Tambien.
This universe of Hogwarts was really well put together by the two previous movies.
Yeah. The part of wisdom, but at the same time, the eccentricity.
He was very respectful of the world that Chris Columbus had created.
He's turning that direction.
And yet, we felt it was important that he be allowed to make it his own.
All the kids are going to be stopped there, and obviously they will let Filch and Dumbledore go through. What made the whole thing different was just the approach to that universe. It's going to be very good. We expanded the universe of Hogwarts, but we tried to be organic to the universe already established in the first two films.
Really took, I have to say, Alfonso's eye, I think, to really come in and tie this stuff together.
He's like Christopher. He's got this boundless energy. There must be some extra gene in directors of this kind of film because it's absolutely endless.
It looks good when you... Okay, move that, please. And now do the sound. Do the sound. Move this. Okay.
What drew me to Alfonso was he embodied or had shown many of the qualities that I thought were appropriate for this particular film, for The Prisoner of Azkaban.
I want to try to tell the movie with a style that was as fluid as possible. As if the camera comes, say, okay, give me your hand, and the camera just takes you through the whole ride.
Alfonso has had very good intuition about what would and wouldn't work. He's put a lot of humour in there, and I think it's fantastic.
What do you mean? Look at the blink. There you go.
Everything that I've learned with Chris Columbus, I'm now getting a chance to put into practice with a new director.
I was the luckiest guy because I got these 3 kids that they've done already 2 Harry Potters.
He came with a lot of new ideas.
I asked them to please write an essay in which they were going to write in first person their bio till the moment in which the movie starts, but from the standpoint of the characters.
He was very trusting. He wanted us to put a lot of ourselves and our thoughts into the characters.
It's the happiest I've ever felt. But it's complicated.
Is it strong?
Me and Harry, we're the same age practically at the same time. I think we're experiencing a lot of the same feelings at the same time, and so I think I can associate with them, really.
Shall we? One at the ready.
Each film has challenged me because I'm going to unknown territory, basically.
Rises 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Expecto Patronum!
It was so clear how suited these kids are to play their characters.
Please, sir. An animagus is a wizard who elects to turn into an animal. A werewolf has no choice.
Oh!
She's taken it for 3 years, and suddenly, it's like it's uncontrollable.
Look who's here. Ah, come to see the show.
She's rock and roll. She's girl power.
Foul and loathsome evil little cockroach!
Hermione, no! He's not worth it.
And instead of, keep walking, just ignore him. That's it. Smack. That felt good.
It's really fun. It's like, in a way, kind of going back to school, but much, much better than that.
Exactly what is that?
That run is a hippogriff.
The relationship between the 3 kids has changed, the 3 main characters. They're much older, and that really shows in all sorts of different ways.
I think that means you owe someone an apology.
Right. Next time I see Crookshanks, I'll let him know.
I meant me. They're teenagers, and I think there's sort of an ongoing stress, and a lot is put on the relationship between the 3 of them, and they really rely on each other.
Never told me about any marauders, Matt.
But he's not going to keep it. He's going to turn it into Professor McGonagall, aren't you?
Oh, sure, along with his invisibility cloak.
At one point in the film, I think that Crookshank has eaten my rat, so that starts a big argument up with Hermione, and that was quite fun to do.
And this bloody cat ate my rat.
That's a lie.
It is not, and you bloody well know it.
It's their first fight, basically, their first argument. They're just doing it because there's always this threat that they might actually like each other, and they don't like that at all.
You realize that you're in a different world now. These aren't kids anymore.
There's a lot of angst in there now. I think in the first 2 films he was slightly nervous about actually really making a stand towards the Dursleys, but in this film there's a major stand towards the Dursleys. I just pack up and leave of my own accord. I basically run away from their home.
That's pretty powerful. You know, the fact that he's taking a stand and he's walking away from this nonsense.
I'm picked up by the night bus. Basically, the night bus is this bus which is a purple triple-decker bus. It's actually quite funny as well.
Little old lady at 12 o'clock!
Tried to do is to detect the theme of the film. That was about this kid finding his identity. Is learning that both the fears and the power to fight them reside within.
The demons are no longer just the monsters in the closet, the basilisks, the giant spiders and the likes, but actually the demons begin to become from within.
Over the first two films, he's kind of developed this image in his own mind of him being this kind of all-powerful kind of wizard. He's defeated Voldemort twice, and he's getting more confident about his powers, but then he faints when he sees something called a Dementor.
And the Dementors, for me, were about depression, not just sadness. And I think Alfonso's really done a great job on that.
Because Harry has such horrific memories in his past, when the Dementors take all the happiness out of his mind, he is left with some absolutely horrible images. It acts almost as a wake-up call to say, actually, I do have weaknesses. I'm not that kind of powerful or that strong.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban is the third in the successful film series and promises to be the most engaging yet.
Hey guys, why the long faces?
I think visually it's going to be very exciting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Room 11.
It's quite fascinating because the magic never kind of goes. I mean, I remember walking into this great hall the first time and just not believing it. It was just so amazing. And it still has that effect on one when it's all going, when the candles are moving up and down. It's a magic place to be.
At the request of the Ministry of Magic, Hogwarts will, until further notice, play host to the Dementors of Azkaban, until such a time as Sirius Black is captured.
Sadly, before filming could commence on the third film, a main member of the wizard family would no longer be with them. Richard Harris, who played Dumbledore in the first two films, passed away in October 2002.
It was a great loss to us.
Quite remarkable, yes.
Any theory as to how he managed it?
Oh.
Actor Michael Gambon was cast as Dumbledore for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
I do not think a single professor in this castle would help Sirius Black to enter it, Severus. Now, I'm quite convinced the castle is safe, and I'm willing to allow the students to return to their houses for tomorrow. For now, let them sleep.
Dumbledore is who Dumbledore is. Wise, eccentric, with a twinkle in his eye, and I think Michael has all of those qualities, and those were the qualities that we were looking for.
Let them swim in the deepest ocean or glide high above the clouds. He's awake. It's like every actor's fantasy, isn't it? Something like Dumbledore being a Harry Potter. Welcome, welcome to another year at Hogwarts.
He doesn't replace Richard. He is not doing Richard Harris. He is doing Michael Gambon's Dumbledore, and it's wonderful.
Now, I have a few things to say before we all become befuddled by our excellent feast.
What I like about Michael's performance in the film is that he hasn't even tried to fill Richard's shoes, because that would be pointless, because Richard was completely unique.
At this point, we add the thing as happiness can be found even in the darkest times if one remembers to turn on the light. And then, I think
that's everything of importance. Let's begin the feast.
That is very good. Our approach of Dumbledore is a little, just slightly different than before. A little bit more mischievous, almost like an old hippie, a hippie chic. At the same time, we didn't want to alienate the people who grew with the first two films of Harry Potter with Richard Harris, so we didn't want to really make a drastic change there.
It's been wonderful. I feel as I've been in it for years.
Joining the cast of characters haunting the halls of Hogwarts are Gary Oldman, David Thewlis, and Emma Thompson.
Together we shall cast ourselves into the future.
This is a stunning cast this time, and they're so good, all those guys.
Ridiculous!
Professor Lupin is the new Defence Against the Dark Arts teacher. The kids are very fond of Lupin. I think he's described as their favourite teacher they've had in the school, which wouldn't be difficult because there's quite a few not so nice teachers in the school.
You're more like them than you know, Harry. In time, you'll come to see just how much.
The key emotional scenes, which basically make up the heart of the film, seem to me to be between Harry and Lupin almost every time.
He's one of the last surviving links Harry has to his parents. He's a great comfort to Harry.
Let's try again. You feel ready? As before, but in order for it to work, you must think of a memory. And not just any memory, a very happy memory, a very powerful memory. Can you do that?
It was a great cast. I think they did a phenomenal job.
Better be Gryffindor!
It's been nearly 3 years since a boy wizard first crawled out of his cupboard on the set of Privet Drive. And for Daniel, Emma, and Rupert, life has never been the same.
It's such a privilege to meet so many different people from all over the world. I do love filming. I just love the work. I love doing the acting part of it. I just love it.
Daniel's a great guy. How he's managed to stay as he is, been taken from such an early age and turned into one of the most recognisable people on the face of the earth, and still remains bright and witty and bonkers as he is, with no affectations, is real credit to him.
Harry.
Dan?
They're superb kids. Very well disciplined, accurate, on the ball, sharp.
I really am amazed at how good they are.
We've always been together through some crazy, amazing people, places, experiences. They're the only people that I can talk to who understand what I'm saying, because they've been there and seen it all with me.
It's a sense of real pride to see that these kids have become such accomplished professional actors. It's like seeing your own children up on screen.
I just think they're great, and they're teenagers now, I can't believe it, but they are such nice people, off screen as well.
Harry Potter has become a beloved film experience for audiences of all ages, with many years of movie magic still to come.
Children are terribly susceptible to novelty, but they come back to Potter again and again because it's about something. It's not just entertainment. It is about what it's like to be that age.
What they'll get is a Harry Potter film, but a Harry Potter film which has developed and grown from the first two. It is deeply moving, and is a fun adventure.
No one who's read the book is going to be at all disappointed. And I'm completely happy, and what more can I say?
Expecto Patronum!
Now an exclusive peek at the new movie where Harry, Hermione, and Ron take time to learn more about the mysteries of magic.
Mysterious thing, time. Powerful, and when meddled with, dangerous. You know the laws, Miss Granger. You must not be seen, and you would do well, I feel, to return before this last chime. If you succeed tonight, more than one innocent life may be spared. Oh, by the way, when in doubt, I find retracing my steps to be a wise place to begin. Good luck.
What the bloody hell was that all about?
Sorry, Ron, but seeing as you can't walk.
Harry's story is not over. As life at Hogwarts continues, who knows what magic and mysteries are yet to come.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron burn.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry.
Mr. Potter.
This time, it's a lot darker and more scary.
I was just looking forward to, like, all the Dementors.
Bloody hell! What's happening?
They scared the living daylights out of me.
We've got loads of new people. It's great. Gary Oldman playing Sirius Black.
I'm this dark sort of figure who has escaped from Azkaban, and I'm after Potter.
Emma Thompson playing Professor Trelawney.
She sees into the future all the time. I think that she's a bit of a charlatan, really.
David Thewlis playing Professor Lupin.
He's certainly the kindest of the Defence Against the Dark Arts teachers we've seen so far, who also has his dark secret.
We have Michael Gambon as Dumbledore.
He's the powerful, good Dumbledore, the one you can lean on.
There's a new take on Hagrid.
There is a great development that Hagrid has been taken on as staff. He is Professor Hagrid.
How am I doing my first day?
Brilliant, Professor. I just love the creatures from this film as well. There's the new director. He came with a lot of new ideas for all of us.
The camera is going to move into a very wide shot of Hogsmeade, of you two guys walking. I want to try to tell the movie with a style where it was as fluid as possible. As if the camera comes, say, okay, give me your hand, and the camera just takes you through the whole ride, from the first frame to the last frame.
I wanted to make absolutely certain we were continuing to be faithful to the books, but at the same time, we're giving each director who comes in a little more freedom.
Alfonso was very respectful of the world that Chris Columbus had created. And another quality that unites Chris and Alfonso is that they both are children at heart. And I think they brought that childlike sense of wonder to the films.
You see it's going down. Win, you look straight, and this Dementor is coming right after you. I really wanted to do is to do it more contemporary. This film takes place in 2004, so we crafted costumes that they wear in a more contemporary way.
She's in jeans. Yes, yes, I'm in jeans. Thank God, and not another one of those skirts. And the itchy jumpers. It's improved so much.
The uniform's kind of a bit more relaxed, like ties a bit looser, shirts untucked, and that was kind of like Alfonso's idea.
It just really seemed like a natural development. When kids become teenagers, they change. They're going to change the way they dress. Their attitude's going to change.
Shut up! Shut up!
I think in the first two films, Harry was slightly nervous about actually really making a stand towards the Dursleys, but in this film, there's a major stand towards the Dursleys.
And this one, Hermione changes completely. She's rock and roll, she's girl power, she's out there doing everything.
You foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach!
She's just had enough. You know, she's taken it for 3 years, and suddenly, it's like it's uncontrollable. Malfoy insults her.
Mudblood.
That's it. Smack!
That felt good.
Not good. Brilliant.
The characters are growing up. It's different, but it's good.
But he's not going to keep it. He's going to turn it into Professor McGonagall. Aren't you?
Oh, sure, along with his invisibility cloak.
In this one, it's their first fight, basically, their first argument. Hermione and Ron are fighting about the cat and the rat.
Ronald has lost his rat.
I haven't lost anything. Your cat killed him.
Rubbish.
The argument was fun. I enjoyed that, yeah.
Any excuse to make it out that they hate each other. Any excuse. They're always niggling each other and always having a go at each other.
There's a lot of stuff going on between them, but also you kind of start to get a feeling in this one that Hermione and Ron have kind of got crushes on each other, really.
There's always this threat that they might actually like each other, and they don't like that at all.
You are in danger. Grave danger.
In this one, Harry's got a lot of problems. First of all, I mean, he thinks somebody's actually trying to kill him.
Sirius Black may not have put his hands to the Potters, but he's the reason they're dead.
And now he wants to finish what he started.
I'm imprisoned in Azkaban and escape, and I guess everybody thinks that I, in fact, went to the dark side.
You immediately are frightened of him. You think this guy is what everyone is saying.
He's a murderous, raving lunatic.
Thanks, Ron.
As the story unfolds, there's all sorts of new developments along the way.
I'm pleased to welcome Professor R.J. Lupin, who's kindly consented to fill the post of Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Good luck, Professor.
Lupin's a very instrumental character in the film. Not only that, but also I think probably the key scenes, the key emotional scenes, which basically make up the heart of the film, seem to me to be between Harry and Lupin almost every time.
He's one of the last surviving links Harry has to his parents, and there's quite a moving scene where Lupin explains to Harry what his parents were like, someone who can actually tell him firsthand what they were like as people, which you may not have heard before.
You're more like them than you know, Harry. In time, you'll come to see just how much.
The third film is incredibly intense emotionally, but it's actually quite funny as well.
In this room, you shall discover if you possess the sight.
I'm playing Professor Trelawney, who is the Professor of Divination at Hogwarts. She has got a genuine gift, but like all those people, she has to kind of make it stretch. She has to make it sort of bigger than it actually is.
Emma, wonderful. It was so much fun to do with Emma. Those scenes, so eccentric, so cuckoo.
I don't believe a single professor in this castle would help Sirius Black to enter at Severus.
You can't replace Richard Harris as Dumbledore. And when Richard passed away, we knew we had a big hole to fill, as it were.
What we had to do was find someone who embodied the spirit of Dumbledore. I had seen Michael on stage a couple of times, and I thought, I have a feeling that he could become Dumbledore, make it his own, and still, with a little sort of tip of the hat to Richard.
Our approach of Dumbledore is a little, just slightly different than before, is a little bit more playful, if anything, a little bit more mischievous.
Oh, this world is so wonderful to be in, you know, and to wear these costumes, and these figures, this powerful imagination. Yeah, I love it.
This is a stunning cast this time, and they're so good, all those guys. There's a whole lot in them. The magic never kind of goes. It's a magic place to be.
Hagrid, exactly what is that?
That, Ron, is a hippogriff.
A hippogriff is an animal which it basically looks like a cross between a horse and a bird. And it's Hagrid's job to introduce it to the children. And the hippogriff itself is a wonderful creature. It's absolutely astonishing.
They let you ride him now.
One of the most beautiful sequences we have is the hippogriff flying lesson, where Harry takes off on the hippogriff and he flies over Hogwarts and over the lake. I mean, it is beautifully shot, and it is amazing.
Buckbeak's a very important creature in the film. Even more important are the Dementors.
They are basically these awful creatures that suck out every drop of happiness left in you.
Monster Book of Monsters. We have the Night Boss.
Take it away, Ernie. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
The Night Boss sequence in itself is so funny.
We have boggarts.
A very simple charm exists to repel a boggart.
Boggarts are a manifestation of the thing you most fear.
What really finishes a boggart is laughter. You need to force it to assume a shape you find truly amusing.
For example, Neville, that horrific image is Professor Snape, but if you then imagine Professor Snape dressed up as an old woman, as his grandmother, that's quite funny. So we get to see Alan Rickman dressed up as an old woman. Haven't seen that before.
Oh, yeah, Alan Rickman in a dress. I forgot about that. I think it was Alan Rickman's worst fear.
I do love filming. I just love the work. I love doing the acting part of it. I just love it.
These kids, they've been very lucky to work with some of the best actors alive in number one and number two. And so they wanted to start taking more seriously their craft. And they were willing then to explore emotional territories that they hadn't explored before.
Each film has challenged me because I'm going to unknown territory, basically. And I think one of the things that has helped a lot is the fact that me and Harry are kind of experiencing a lot of the same feelings at the same time, and so I think I can associate with them, really.
We took these kids when they had no experience, and it's a sense of real pride to see that these kids have become such accomplished professional actors.
Bloody hell, Harry. That was not funny.
It's like seeing your own children up on screen. I was very, very proud of them all.
I really am amazed how good they are, and how they've sort of maintained their energy levels and stuff. So they do work very hard. They're much better at sort of accessing the parts of themselves they need to find in order to project certain feelings and emotions and stuff, which is very difficult for children.
These actors and actresses that I was working with completely swept me off my feet. And people ask me sometimes, do they give you tips? They don't need to. Just watching them, just being around them is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
There was a lot of really good ones in this one. Gary Oldman was really cool, yeah. Really fun working with.
Scabbers! Get off him! Leave him alone!
Rupert and Daniel and Emma are just, delightful. They're very professional, very focused.
For me? Who would have sent her? No one knows.
Dan is doing a fantastic job, and I think he's matured and been really growing in becoming a good actor.
It was so touching to see Gary Oldman and Daniel trying to, like working together and putting together the scene, or with David Thewlis. It was great.
The film is just kind of mind-blowing, really.
A lot is introduced in this one. Amazing people, places, experiences.
There's a good deal of tension.
It's going to be really scary, but it's going to be cool.
These fantastic things. You just can't believe what you see.
There's an energy which is terrific.
It's very dark, very action-packed. It's really fantastic.
Welcome, welcome to another year at Hogwarts.
And now we would like to share with you this exclusive sneak preview of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
You'll definitely notice a few new things. New characters, new creatures, and finally Hermione wearing jeans.
As you can see, we've grown a bit, so enjoy the show.
This one is sort of the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's a lot darker as well. There's a lot more scary things in it.
The fact that it's darker is because it's in the book.
Yeah.
In the second one, we had the spiders. That was scary for me, yeah. But this time we've got the Dementors.
It's a bit of a different ball game to go from, creepy spiders to go to suddenly, peoples which suck your soul out.
We do have other things in this one.
Yeah, the Hippogriff was really cool.
Prisoner of Azkaban, compared to the last two films, is it's a lot different. There's so many different people.
Emma Thompson. I was so pleased to be working with her.
You may be young in years, but the heart that beats beneath your bosom is as shriveled as an old maid's.
Gary Oldman. I have so much respect for him as an actor.
Oh! Michael Gambon entered into his own perception of what Dumbledore was going to be like.
He was really amazing.
A child's voice, however honest and true, is meaningless to those who've forgotten how to listen.
It is a much funnier film.
Welcome to the night bus. Emergency transport for the stranded witch or wizard.
Smack, bam, crash.
I get thrown against windows, I'm all over the place.
I think you can tell it's a different director. He's just done it in a different way. It's great.
Chris Columbus had done the first two films, and he had put together a universe that was very eloquent. So I felt very comfortable to play in that universe. You're about to lose the battle when finally comes out, okay?
Alfonso's got a real good visual sense. He's always been really strong with actors. I really grew to care about these kids, and I wanted to make sure that they were in the hands of someone who would take care of them, who would look out for their best interests. And I think they formed a really strong relationship.
Move this. Okay. I was the luckiest guy because I got these 3 kids that they've done already 2 Harry Potters. They knew everything relating about their own characters and the universe around them.
I was completely blown away by their performances because there's such a maturity, there's such a assurance, there's confidence.
I'm still tense. Listen up, listen up.
Alfonso, he was very trusting. He wanted us to put a lot of ourselves and our thoughts into the character. He'd always turn around and say to you, you come up with whatever feels natural.
Yeah. And eventually I think we all got into that, and I think it worked really well in the end.
Yeah, that was quite cool. He's funny, he's just really funny and easy to work with as well, which is really good.
You know the Egyptians used to worship cats?
Yeah, along with a dung beetle.
In the series so far, you have never, ever seen us fight. And then suddenly in this one, it all falls apart. It's me and Ron, where it gets really bad. It's the whole cat and the rat thing, isn't it?
Ronald has lost his rat.
I haven't lost anything. Your cat killed him.
The actors are growing up with the characters, and the characters are growing up with the story. And the story itself is obviously much more mature.
In this film, there's a major stand towards the Dursleys, with Aunt Marge getting inflated by a spell that I don't even try to do it.
In this one, Hermione really comes into her own.
You foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach!
Hermione, no!
It's like meeting a different person. You know, she's got power. Malfoy insults her.
Filthy little mudblood.
And instead of, you know, keep walking, just ignore him. That's it. Smack.
Oh! It's about time, really.
Yeah, take him down a peg or 2. We look like teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean, Hermione gets to wear jeans.
Ron's clothes they stay the same throughout the whole thing. There's like Weasley jumpers and poor clothes. I like that. I felt like you got into the character a bit more.
The Prisoner of Azkaban refers to a character by the name of Sirius Black, who spent the last 12 years in prison because it is thought that he murdered or was responsible for the murder of Harry's parents. When the film begins, the Prisoner of Azkaban has escaped and is on the run and coming to find Harry Potter.
He's been sighted, he's been sighted! Who? Sirius Black!
Dufftown? It's not far from here.
I look like I've escaped from prison, don't you think?
The working with Gary Oldman this time was just the highlight of my life. And when you're working with, like, Gary, David Thewlis, who's amazing, like, really just, I mean, the scenes with David in the film are just stunning, and Timothy Spall and Alan Rickman all in the same room at the same time. It's kind of, I'm just going to stand in the corner and be quiet.
No pressure.
And you guys can...
No pressure.
Yeah.
Dear lady, who did this to you?
He's here! Somewhere in the castle! Sirius Black!
It's like every actor's fantasy, isn't it? Something like Dumbledore being a Harry Potter. So I'm delighted. I enjoy every minute of it.
This is a stunning cast this time, and they're so good, all those guys. There's a whole lot in them. The magic never kind of goes. It's a magic place to be.
I am Professor Trelawney,
Together we shall cast ourselves into the future.
She plays this eccentric character.
Professor Trelawney's scenes are actually really funny. Well, the earlier ones are really fun.
She's insane. The much earlier ones,
mad, yeah.
She's absolutely crazy. And your reactions to her are really funny.
There's scenes with me and Rupert in kind of divination, just kind of slowly falling asleep outside and then being woken up by her huge eyes behind these glasses.
She does see really, truly frightening things. She's looking into teacups and she sees something very nasty in store for Harry. You have the Grim. She ratchets up the suspense, basically. She's there to sort of really get the plot going and get us all feeling a bit nervous.
Our own Rubeus Hagrid.
Hagrid becomes a teacher in this one.
How am I doing my first day?
Brilliant, Professor.
He's so pleased to be a professor.
Isn't he beautiful?
Basically, he's in charge of the magical creatures. And some of them are a bit unpredictable.
Exactly what is that?
That, Ron, is a hippogriff.
Yeah, that was really amazing, because it's like half horse, half eagle. I thought that was quite cool.
And it's Hagrid's job to introduce it to the children and show them how to do it right and how not to offend it or frighten it and so on. And of course, guess who gets it wrong?
Great ugly brute.
Malfoy. No, Malfoy.
Whoa! Wait!
He was kind of the star of the second film, I think. But it's going to be the star of this one, really.
He's so real, so real.
The film is story-filled with magic and magical creatures. That's looking really cool. We have a werewolf, the Monster Book of Monsters.
And you do kind of think that if all textbooks had teeth and were this vicious, you would pay a lot more attention.
Attention in class, definitely.
There's a creature that the Dementors, that they project that fear within.
They act almost as a wake-up call to say, I do have weaknesses, I'm not that kind of powerful or that strong.
The theme of the film, this kid finding his identity as a teenager and is learning that both the fears and the power to fight them reside within.
I hope he finds me, because when he does, I'm going to be ready.
It's more of an emotional journey than
It's all emotional and everyone's on the edge.
And then it's just really exciting at the same time.
Expecto Patronum!
Well, that's about all we have time for tonight.
We hope you've enjoyed seeing the film and our special sneak preview as much as we've enjoyed making all the Harry Potter films over the past few years.
We had a great time being your host for the evening and look forward to seeing you again when the movie opens June the 4th.
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire, burn and cold and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble, something wicked this way comes. I've built a tall throne, all about and tongue of dog, and a smoke and blind with steam. This is egg and now let's wait.
This film has been rated PG.
Y eso me pasó con Harry Potter. Ni siquiera terminas el guión cuando digas, acá hay algo. El material era demasiado bueno. Yo quería hacer una película de familia para familias desde que hice La Princesita. Entonces mandaron ahí el guión y pues lo tuve ahí dejado al lado. Después de como un mes me hablaron los productores, me habló David Heyman y me dijo, oye, es que tienes que tomar una decisión.
¿Sí o no?
Dime nada más que no, léelo para que me digas que no. Leí el guión de Steve Kloves. El guión en sí ya era un gran guión. Y lo único que hizo el guión fue meterme la curiosidad de leer la novela. Bueno, voy a hacer la tercera de una serie. Voy a heredar elementos de otras películas que yo no diseñé desde un principio. Pero todo eso, a final de cuentas, en mi proceso, se convirtieron en factores a favor. Justamente es el justo medio donde yo iba a meter de mi cuchara y a la vez no alienar a las gentes que han visto dos películas y que lleguen a ver la tercera y que no tenga nada que ver con las anteriores. Y a la vez, cómo hacer para que gente que no ha visto las otras dos películas, que no sabe nada de Harry Potter, se sienten y vean la película y que no necesiten explicaciones acerca de las otras dos historias para entender esta tercera historia. La historia que yo estoy contando es la historia de un niño de 13 años que está tratando de encontrar su identidad como adolescente. Y para hacer eso tiene que conciliar muchos aspectos de su persona, uno de los cuales es la energía masculina. Tú tienes el universo mágico en Harry Potter, que es básicamente la mayor parte de la película. En todos los libros o las películas estas de Harry Potter, siempre se establece el mundo de Harry con los muggles, que son las gentes no mágicas. Y a partir de eso se detona la aventura y él ya se va a su escuela donde todos son magos o brujas, es un mundo ya más fantástico. Lo que yo quería y me interesaba mucho era anclar la realidad humana primero para después ir al mundo mágico, porque mi teoría era que mientras más anclada es la realidad y la realidad emocional,
más mágico puede...
Más mágico iba a ser lo otro, sin tener que estar creando magia con efectos especiales. O sea, todas las culturas y todas las religiones celebran los 13 años como un punto de partida, como el principio de un viaje de iniciación. Que creo que es lo que la película también trata de alguna manera. Los 13 años arquetípicamente también marcan emocionalmente ese momento donde los niños empiezan a darse cuenta que ese miedo que tú tienes, ese monstruo, no está detrás del closet, el coco no está detrás del closet, no está abajo de la cama, está dentro de ti. Y que la única manera de contrarrestar esos miedos, ese coco, está también adentro de ti. Trabajar con 3 niños, que además de ser grandes talentos y realmente buenos actores, yo tenía la ventaja que estos 2 niños ya habían hecho 2 películas con efectos visuales, en donde estos 2 niños ya sabían la cuestión de marcajes y responder técnicamente a cuestiones técnicas en el set. Entonces toda la parte técnica ya la tenían clarísima.
Ese es un plus.
No, eso era maravilloso, porque no tuve que enseñarles absolutamente nada de eso. Pero además...
Pero ya vienen como...
Pero además de 13 años. Eso quiere decir que venían con toda esa experiencia técnica, cumpliendo 13 años, ahora sí queriendo tomarse en serio ellos como actores. ¿Sí? Lo de Jo Rowling, ella, en realidad, ella, por un lado, me dio totalmente la libertad de hacer lo que yo quisiera, pero a la vez, es eso, ¿sabes? La libertad y la responsabilidad son exactamente la misma cosa. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? Cuando ella te dice, oye, yo soy un fan de La Princesita, me da mucho gusto que vaya a hacer esta película, por favor. Lo único que me dijo es, no seas literal. O sea, yo no creo que funcione muy bien ser literal cuando adaptas algo al cine, que me dio mucho gusto que me dijera eso, porque creo que un problema que tienen adaptaciones hacia el cine es ser excesivamente literales. Tienes que ser, lo que me dijo es, sé fiel al universo, sé fiel al espíritu, pero no trates de ser literal. Cosa que por un lado te da libertad, pero por otro lado es, ups, estoy siendo fiel al espíritu. Y es muy impresionante porque, por un lado, me dio rienda suelta, y por otro lado, es una mujer que tiene su universo tan creado en su cabeza. Y digo, en los libros que he escrito, pero todo en la cabeza, porque hay libros que todo tiene que escribir del mismo material, en donde ella conoce perfectamente las reglas de su universo. La geografía. Yo tenía, por ejemplo, un cementerio. Entonces me dice, no, ese cementerio no puede estar ahí. Le digo, no, pero ¿por qué no? No, ese cementerio no puede existir ahí porque en el 7º libro hay una parte que sucede en el cementerio y el cementerio queda allá. Digo, lo único que ella tenía, que me pidió que fuera cuidadoso es no meter elementos que contradigan su universo o elementos que contradigan hechos que van a suceder en libros posteriores. Pero de ahí en fuera era toda la libertad de crear, de hacer los atajos, de poner, de cambiar. Y creo que algo que estoy muy orgulloso, y eso es creído también Steve Kloves, es el que es una película donde nadie se va a dar cuenta qué tan distinta de alguna manera es al libro. Tenemos nuestro pequeño zocalito, ¿cómo no? Hogwarts tiene su pequeño zocalito, ¿cómo no?
¿Sí?
Tiene su zocalito, pequeño, más pequeño que nuestro querido Zócalo en la Ciudad de México, pero con más águilas y serpientes. Enseñan un diseño bestial, maravilloso, de unos dragones peleándose con unas serpientes, o no sé qué. No, pues, ¿para qué vas tan lejos? Hay una águila devorando una serpiente que está más chida. Hay una tienda de dulces, por ejemplo. Y te empiezan a enseñar diseños de distintos dulces que tienen que ver con cosas mágicas o murciélagos de goma. Ahí
están las calaveritas.
Entonces, bueno, pues es que ¿para qué vas tan lejos? Tenemos unas calaveras de azúcar. Los mexicanos seguramente se van a dar cuenta de esos pequeños detalles, pero
El resto de la gente no.
va a pasar como
Pero es que
elementos
si no se
de
hubiera
juego.
visto.
Por ejemplo, también cambiamos el vestuario de los uniformes en la escuela. Estás en Londres. Y eso es lo que pasa, es parte del proceso. Estás haciendo una película sobre un niño que está en Londres y lo mandan a Escocia a su escuela. Y entonces vas afuera de escuelas y vas a la salida y te pones a ver niños saliendo de las escuelas, a ver cómo se comportan. Y te das cuenta que aquí casi todas las escuelas tienen uniforme, pero que no hay un solo niño que use el uniforme de la misma manera que el otro niño. Hay una individualidad muy específica es casi el uniforme, lo único que hace es desuniformar a todo mundo.
Cada quien lo lleva distinto.
Cada quien lo lleva distinto, unos con la camisa salida, otros con la corbata de fuera, otros súper bien fajaditos y demás. Entonces tratamos de llevar eso también a los uniformes y fue muy fácil porque es básicamente dar los uniformes a los niños y decirles...
Póntelo.
Exactamente, póntelo.
Turn to page 394.
Little old lady at 12 o'clock!
3, 2, yes! Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban prison.
He's a murderer.
Sirius Black is the reason the Potters are dead.
And now he wants to finish what he started. I want you to swear to me you won't go looking for Black.
Why would I go looking for someone who wants to kill me?
There's something moving out there.
It was a Dementor. One of the guards of Azkaban is searching the train for Sirius Black.
It is not in the nature of a Dementor to be forgiving.
I hope he finds me. Because when he does, I'm going to be ready. You must look beyond. Filthy little mudblood.
Foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach! That felt good.
Expecto Patronum!
Welcome, welcome to another year at Hogwarts.
Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban prison. Swear to me you won't go looking for Black.
Why would I go looking for someone who wants to kill me?
Turn to page 394.
Hey guys, why the long faces?
Who is that? That man?
He's a murderer. Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban prison.
Sirius Black is the reason the Potters are dead.
And now he wants to finish what he started.
I want you to swear to me you won't go looking for Black.
Why would I go looking for someone who wants to kill me?
There's something moving out there.
It was a Dementor, one of the guards of Azkaban, searching the train for Sirius Black.
It is not in the nature of a Dementor to be forgiving.
I hope he finds me. Because when he does, I'm going to be ready. You must look beyond.
Filthy little mudblood.
Foul, loathsome, evil little cockroach! Oh, that felt good.
Expecto Patronum! Expecto Patronum!
Explore the wizarding world like never before in the new Harry Potter pop-up book from the creators of the Harry Potter films. Featuring illustrations from Andrew Williamson, lead concept artist behind the Harry Potter films. From the cobbled streets of Diagon Alley to Dumbledore's desk, this collector's item brings the Harry Potter universe to life with exciting pop-up ingenuity full of magical locations. Stand back as the Howler delivers its message.
Harry Potter!
Sneak a peek inside a sealed package from the Ministry of Magic.
That's something you don't see every day.
Browse the shops of Diagon Alley, including the colorful Weasley's Wizard Wheezes and the incredible selection at Ollivander's Wand Shop. Travel to the hallowed grounds of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Visit Hagrid's hut and venture into the Forbidden Forest if you dare. Then flip the page for front row seats at the Tri-Wizard Tournament as the competition unfolds before your eyes. Dabble in the dark arts as Harry confronts Lord Voldemort. Bring the wizarding world to life this season with Harry Potter, a pop-up book. Packed with extras, lavish original art, and movie facts, this is one Harry Potter collectible you don't want to miss. Harry Potter Years 1 to 6 available on Blu-ray and DVD. Collect them all. Meet the real wizards who make the magic of Harry Potter come to life. Harry Potter Film Wizardry is the first book to unlock the secrets of the most successful movie franchise in history.
Wicked.
Let this immersive volume take you behind the screen as you discover never-before-seen concept art and photographs and stories from the stars themselves, including Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson.
It gives me great
to welcome each and every one of you.
Meet the architect who designed and built Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and learn how the moving staircases work. Want to make a purchase on Diagon Alley? You'll need wizardry money first. To see how galleons, sickles, and newts are really minted. Excited to meet those magical creatures?
I must ask you not to scream.
Curious why Dementors glide the way they do? Wondering how hippogriffs fly? Let this book be your guide and delve headfirst into the world of Harry Potter. Learn how the movie's villains are created. And witness one of the world's greatest heroes come of age.
Expecto Patronum! I think it is clear that we can expect great things from you.
This collectible volume offers a look at the movie-making magic that fuels the phenomenon that is Harry Potter.
Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day. I will be.
Harry Potter, film wizardry.
Harry Potter.
With foreword from Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. And introduction by executive producer David Heyman. Includes 10 collectible bonus items from the films. Harry Potter, years 1 to 6, available on Blu-ray and DVD. Collect them all.